All right, welcome to Live Life Driven. Thanks for tuning in. I am sitting here with Justin Farrington once again. He's still here in town. I didn't mention it before, but he likes the nickname Froggy. One day we'll get him to confess to why we call him Froggy. So, anyways, we got a few good topics to talk about today on Live Life Driven. Froggy, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day here in Kalispell, Montana.
Yep.
Sun's out, minimal wind. Well, I got a weather alert, though, that the wind's supposed to pick up again. This is like the windsock.
Yeah, it kind of is. Pollen alert. So,
yeah.
But yeah, blue skies.
Beautiful. Look at those mountains. It's terrible here.
Hey, by the way, value for my listeners in Montana, you're doing some work over at Patriot Truck Works.
That's right.
Yeah, you were there today. So what do you guys do over there?
Patriot Truck Works is doing business, as doing business as Patriot Truck Works, I guess, through the company Response Equipment Specialists. Both companies are owned by Kyle Nace.
Uh-huh.
He's got a shop there, very huge, large shop, actually connected to
Napa Auto.
Napa Auto Parts, yeah. He's connected with the four various Napa Auto Parts in Kalispell here. RES, they do a lot of service and everything like that, especially with first response vehicles. Mm-hmm. He's got a fire truck in there. I was in there taking pictures the other day to do some social media posts and everything. I think he's got like 5 sheriff's department's vehicles that they're doing installs. They install the lights. They do everything like that. Patriot Truck Works is more the aftermarket line.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with all your UTVs, custom builds. Well, as you know, you're getting your 73 Ford done.
Yeah, that's right.
There.
That's right.
Everything and everything, man. We're in cahoots with Camberg, Rugged Radios, Raceline Wheels. What else? Method. BFGs. We both run BFGs. Those are going like crazy.
Hot
right
item up here in Montana. So
yeah.
It's Patriot, Patriot _ truck, TRUK, WORX, Patriot Truck Works. I'll put it in the bio on this website. So if you're in Montana and you're looking to get some work done or aftermarket parts.
Hey, even if you're not, we drop ship too.
Yeah, you do, huh?
Yes, that's right.
And the only reason why I asked you, hey, what are you doing over there? Because, I made the introduction early on and you guys are building a business together out of this aftermarket parts stuff. So I guess I was really just looking for an update. So thank you for that. Which leads me into one of the topics I wanted to talk about today. As we're in the middle of COVID, some states coming out of it, as Montana is, and some states are full on lockdown for everybody, what I understand in California. But I can't emphasize enough that I think that we really need to be shopping small businesses and shopping local. Because, I'm in the bar and liquor, alcohol business, and restaurants are suffering out there, or they have suffered pretty hard. And, so I brought up Patriot because I'm thinking, okay, local owner, you guys are conducting business. We need to support all the local businesses we can, right?
100%, yeah. The big businesses and everything like that, Amazon, all that, they're flourishing right now, you know, which is great. I mean, hey, Amazon's business too, and Target and all the companies that you can order online and they'll bring it to your house. But, I mean, it's the small businesses. People have spent, several years of their life creating these things. Sorry about the feedback. And now all of a sudden they get deemed non-essential. And how do they pay the bills?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And some of the companies that you even mentioned that you guys work with at Patriot, like Camberg, small business.
Right.
2 partners, family run and operated. Rugged Radios, believe it or not, because they've got a big online presence, family owned, right? So important to support those companies, especially during COVID, if you can. If you're looking for something, if you need something, please look around in your own towns and areas and try to support the ones that are either suffering or really could use your support, not the big box stores that are going to make it no matter what. And they're getting these huge bailouts, of course, probably again. I don't know for sure, but, I just know that there's a lot of small businesses suffering right now.
Yeah, 100%. Do it before this thing ends so that when it does end, you're ready to rip.
Yeah, and speaking of COVID, I got my stimulus check for my business today.
Oh, really?
Technically, it wasn't today. It was last week. So I applied. They have they offered the loan for $10,000 for small businesses.
Right.
Right in the beginning, I filled out the paperwork literally the first day I could turn it in. I did it the old-fashioned way. I filled it out, I printed it, filled it out, and put it in the mailbox. And my accountant's like, hey, we got extra money in the account today. Do you know what this is for? I'm like, I have no idea. And he goes, did you apply for the stimulus? I said, yeah. I said, but I haven't gotten a single correspondence from them. So today I actually reached out to the bank and I said, look, I got this deposit. Can you confirm what that is? And she said, yeah, it's part of that loan. So if you have not applied for any stimulus, the PPP programs or the $10,000 stimulus program, I highly suggest you do it. They're looking at round 3 of financial support from the feds. I'm living proof that I've received some money. It's in my account, so I can attest that the system worked, even by snail mail. And if you need some help on that, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to walk you through that. So you can catch me on my social media. It's at Jim Riley Racing, or just go onto my website, Live Life Driven, and find my email address. So the money's out there.
Can I borrow some?
If you need it. Well, and the other thing I'll say, if you have not gotten your personal stimulus relief check, what I found out last week is if you had to pay taxes in 2018 and 2019, they don't have your direct deposit information because you paid them, right? So you need to go on to their website, the irs.gov website, go to the COVID relief fund, and put in, you'll have to set up an account. Very simple, your date of birth, your social security number, and then you would have to put in what you paid in taxes, the last filing, your address that you were at the last filing, and then you'll put in your direct deposit information. Immediately they'll tell you you should receive your check within 2 to 3 weeks, and you'll get assigned a number where you can track it.
I didn't know that.
So if you have not done that, great piece of advice somebody gave me last week, go in and give them your direct deposit information.
Yeah, right.
And they will give it direct deposit.
Because they're not mailing that stuff.
They're not mailing it at this point. So anyways, I'm so glad somebody told me to do that, and I'm doing that. And anyway, so a little, like I said on the show, we're going to try to give you bits of advice or things we've heard throughout the week that might apply to you and help you out. So there you go.
Help me out. I didn't know about it.
Well, now you know. Write it down.
I am right now.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, and it really comes from your story, Justin, and that's reconnecting.
Right.
You know, we've been in lockdown for over 30 days now, and I realized that I probably could have did a better job of reconnecting to people that I haven't spoken to in a long time. And after hearing your story, and I want you to tell it briefly here in a second, after hearing your story, I made it a point yesterday morning after I get done with my workout is I'm going to try to reconnect with at least 1 or 2 people that I haven't reached out to. And I also had the notion that, you know, people might need a little reach out and a little encouragement. You don't know what they're going through. So why don't you tell us your story of reconnecting? It's pretty interesting. I know it's a really long, detailed story, but maybe give us the couple-minute version.
I'll give you the Cliff Note version. So what was it? The day that I drove back over home here to Montana, it was Monday, and I actually stopped in at my sister's house, and that was the first time I ever met her. I'm 46, she's 34. She's my half-sister. My biological mom and my father split up. I didn't have a relationship with my biological mom, and a couple of days prior to that Monday, somebody hit me up on social media, and she told me she was my cousin, and she said, hey, you know, here's your sister. And I immediately reached out to her. We kind of talked a little bit. She had some photos of me when I was a little kid or whatever. No, my cousin did. And I met her on Monday, and she's a nice young lady, 34 years old, 2 kids, and she lives in Idaho. And then she just spent the weekend, 2 days with us. Over here in Montana, brought the family, their dog and husband. Yeah. And it was great. It was weird. It was weird because, you know, I'm 46 years old, never met her before. Yeah. I was told that I had a half-sister, but never really looked into it, and I kicked myself in the butt. Now especially, I wish I had looked into it earlier, but it was cool.
Yeah, and thanks for introducing them to my family. It was neat to see it all unfold for you. And, you know, it's just interesting, the power and the strength of social media and your ability to reach out to people and connect like that. It's pretty fascinating. Somebody hits you up like, hey, I'm your cousin. And you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. When I actually got her phone number, my cousin's phone number, her name's Amy. My sister's name is Chelsea. I was on the phone talking with Amy when she gave me Chelsea's social media stuff, and I reached out to her on Messenger, and I said, hey, this is Justin Farrington. I'm your brother. And she responded, and I called her, and we talked for like 2 hours or something like that. It was cool.
You know what's refreshing about that is when Facebook first started, people are like, oh, what is this Facebook thing? And as you start to dig into it and you start making friends, and then it's like everybody from your high school all of a sudden was on there, and you're reconnecting.
Right.
To me, that was the sincere, I don't know, the specialness of Facebook early in the days. Like it was used for a neat purpose, and that was to connect with people that maybe you hadn't seen in a while, or to communicate with people. I know my grandparents loved it because then they could see the pictures of our kids and stuff like that. And I just wish that maybe through some of this turmoil we're going through that we can get back to some of the simpler and the more wholesome things in life, like connecting with people and being positive and encouraging. It seems like Facebook's now a big commercial for, political bias or opinions on one thing or the other, and sometimes it gets pretty nasty.
Yeah, people just drift away into the drain of social media a lot of the time, and next thing you know, it's 4 hours later, and they're sitting there scrolling, looking at people's stuff, I get it if you got nothing to do, but now's the time to do everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's not much happening.
Yeah.
So just like we talked about before, you got to come out better after this than we were going into it. And the social media aspect of that, it's cool as heck, man. I hope to have a relationship with Chelsea and Amy, and I got some aunts and uncles that I didn't know I had. I guess one of my cousins is like a big time. What do you call that?
Don't know.
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Snowmobile guy.
Okay.
On his Facebook or whatever, he's like jumping this big old cliff or whatever. But be nice to meet these people. I don't know who the heck they are.
Yeah. So I think as it relates to living a life of being driven, being driven to connect with people in the right positive way.
That's right.
Connecting or reaching out. Maybe it might be uncomfortable, but the value of doing that. I heard a neat presentation the other day about your thoughts, right? So if you have 10,000 thoughts a day, the power of positive thinking, right? So you wake up, we talk about having more than enough as part of a process in the morning, being thankful for things first thing in the morning.
Right.
All of a sudden I've turned those 10,000 thoughts, I've started my day off with positive thoughts, and I've given less room for negativity. And I think as we look at connecting with people and reconnecting, and maybe even putting turmoil aside, or using this opportunity to reach out to people that maybe you had a disagreement or something negative in your relationship, maybe this is a good time to cure that, because those negative thoughts and feelings you have towards people can also bring you down. So, talk about reconnecting and get on the right page with people, being, having more of a positive attitude. I think it'll change us all.
Yeah, that's a fact. We as humans, just like you said, 10,000 thoughts a day or something like that. How many of those are negative? If we're self-aware enough to realize, man, we are full of negative stuff, whether it be overly concerned about, our daughters getting hurt or, contracting this COVID thing, or, the dog running out in the middle of the street, or not being able to make our monthly payments. Mm-hmm. Those are all things that, think about how many seconds a day that we lose thinking about that type of
negative stuff. Yeah, I had a great run with your son the other day, talking about positive thoughts and running and just kind of pushing out all the negative stuff and the challenges of pushing yourself and stuff like that. And it was interesting to convey that to a young audience.
Yeah, I'm still trying to reconnect my hindquarters to my torso. As I watched you guys take off ahead of me or whatever. I'm walking like I'm 95 years old, but hey, I'm getting there.
Well, I'm glad that you're out there working out. I know when you come to California, and when you leave California to come back to Montana, it almost feels like a vacation or having to get a lot of work done around the house, but you've made time to work out, and I think you've made that a priority since you're 75 hard. It's part of your life now, right?
100%. I talked with you about this the other day. There's different phases after the